Pages 10 through 12, super easy to work on, just a little bit of graphing. Graphing equations, sketch a graph of each line. Super simple. We need to do a two-step process. Step 1, identify the y-intercept and plot that point. It's going to be on the y-axis. Step 2, use the slope to obtain a second point. Then just connect the points. All right, so on the first one, we have our y-intercept is right here, right? The y-intercept is -5, which means at 0, -5, we have a point. So I go to 0, -5, and I put that point. Now I look at the slope. That's -5 over 1. So that means to go down 5 and right 1. Well, I can't go down 5 and right 1. So I could go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and left 1. I now have 2 points of which to connect a nice straight line. And there we go. There's our line. Now that's our two-step process when we are in slope-intercept form. What happens when I'm just given the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts? Well, then we don't use this version. We just plot the intercepts. So my x-intercept is 3, so that's 3, 0. Oops, sorry. And then my y-intercept is -5, so that's 0, -5. So I have my 2 points. So 3 zeros here, 0, -5 is here. And again, just a nice straight line to connect those. And there we go. We have our line. So to recap, slope-intercept form, identify the y-intercept, plot it, use the slope to obtain a second point and connect the dots. In intercept form, I'm going to just plot both my intercepts and then connect the dots. Our next example is written in standard form. So when I'm in standard form, the first thing I want to do is rewrite that in slope-intercept form. And just to recap, the reason why we call it slope-intercept form is because when I have this equation solved in terms of y, which is why we need to know how to isolate variables, I can use my plot the y-intercept and then use the slope to get a second point trick. So the first thing I see is that the y is not by itself. So who am I going to move? The 7x. So I'm going to subtract 7x from both sides. That gives me 2y equals -4 minus 7x. I can't combine them, right? I can't subtract 7 from 4, from -4 rather. They're not like terms, which is why we need to know how to combine like terms. Now I want to isolate that y, so I'm going to divide by 2, which is attached by multiplication. The inverse operation is division. I divide the entire left side by 2, so I'm going to divide the entire right side by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so that's 1y equals -4 divided by 2 is -2. -7/2 x. And so no big deal. I'm going to go to -2. I'm going to place a dot. That's my y-intercept, right? 0, -2. And then my slope is -7/2. And that means to go down 7, and to the right 2. Now the problem is I don't have room to go down 7 and to the right 2. So I can also go up 7 and to the left 2, which is an equivalent move. So up 7 from -2 would put me at 5. So this would be up 7 and to the right 2. And again, we're just going to grab our straight line tool and connect the dots. And there we have it. There's our line. And of course, at the end of the day, I can always use Desmos in these forms to double check my answers. And that's it. That's your graphing video.